a bit safer ground. It was mentioned this morning, I think, that algorithms that are used in this technology have to have a certain robustness and have to evolve to be robust and reliable. And with NMT, what we see is, and it was mentioned several times already today, reads good, but you don't know necessarily what you get the next time around. And for me, I find it always strange that a translator has to sit in front of the MT result and basically figure out, is this useful? But you don't have a fuzzy match value or some quality indication, which I think would be helpful. Is there, and I guess in your line of business where you say to your customers, we can provide you good MT, I guess. Is there anything going on in research or in your field where you say, we're trying to put a tag on a machine translation that says, yep, this is a good one, or the first 3 paragraphs are fine, but then it gets a bit fuzzy and you want to check this twice? Is that something that's done currently in research or something we can hope for?
Not anymore yet, right? So there's a field of quality estimation, which is designed to try to predict the quality of machine translation output. And Lucia, who was on the last panel, is one of the world-leading researchers in this area. And that happened with statistical MT around the time we reached the peak of not being able to improve it anymore. So what do you do with your resources, with your funding, when you can't necessarily make the technology better anymore? You try to say, okay, how good is it? And so we start to focus our research on trying to do that. As I've said already, now with Neural MT, there's so much green space in terms of making the quality of the translations better. People are focusing their time, their energy, their resources, their funding on that, as opposed to saying, because you could develop a methodology that predicts how good the current state of the art in neural machine translation is, and by the time you're 25% through that research project, the state of the art has moved on and the technologies you've developed are no longer appropriate. So that's what I mean by it's not there again yet, because that's where the energies are focused. Arguably, when we get around to it, Neural MT will lend itself better to approaches to quality estimation, because again, in that black box somewhere there, we suspect that Neural MT is inherently better at knowing why it's producing it and saying how confident it is and why it's produced that. And therefore, at a certain stage, somebody smart will, hit on that thing that says, oh, if we actually take this information from here and this information from here, we get a really reliable number out that gives us an idea as to how good the translation is. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it will eventually.